To start working with Gradient Forge, select some gradient artwork, and you'll see that gradient appear in the preview area. If you select a gradient swatch from your swatches panel, you'll see a message that the swatch and all the artwork it's applied to will be edited globally, and that you can work on a copy of the swatch to avoid changing your artwork. And I'll check the box so that doesn't pop up again, knowing that I can always go to the flyout menu and reset these pop-ups by choosing Reset Tip Dialogues. If you've chosen art with a gradient that's also applied elsewhere in your document, go to the top of the Gradient Forge panel and select from this menu. Instance Only allows you to edit just the selected art, and if you choose Global, you'll see a message that your changes will affect the gradient on the artwork wherever it's applied, including the gradient swatch and any art that's locked or hidden or part of a symbol. And I'll check the box so that doesn't pop up again. The Gradient Forge panel also has a live previewing feature. I'll select the gradient on the fish, and with live preview unchecked, changes will appear when you release the stop. When I check the live preview checkbox, I can see the changes I make in real time as I move the stops. And you can always turn this off when you're working on complex art to save processing overhead. Now I'll select one of the corals, and in the top of the panel, I see I'm editing this globally, and under Gradient Source, the panel shows this gradient is coming from a fill, but it would otherwise say stroke or gradient swatch. And here it shows this is a linear gradient, and I can change this to radial, updating all of the coral. Now I'll select one of the jellyfish, and in the gradient preview, I'll click to add a color stop and double-click the stop to choose a new color. And I can marquee select these 3 inner stops to move them simultaneously. And this is something you can't do with Illustrator's gradient panel. Selected stops have a light outline, and unselected stops have a dark outline. And when you change the opacity of color stops, you'll see a checkerboard appear on the preview, along with a checkerboard indicator on the color stop. This ruler below the gradient preview shows the snapping increments. I can use the menu here to change this to 5%, and we'll see fewer tick marks. I'll drag a stop, snapping it along the ruler. Or I can uncheck this box to turn off snapping altogether. You can also check Snap to Centers, and this shows pink highlights when a color stop is centered between 2 other stops. Now we're acquainted with the preview area of the Gradient Forge panel and the options across the top. In the next video, we'll look at the Gradient Pockets area for saving your gradients.